But Tolar, a remarkable story, a remarkable win. And here to talk with us about his remarkable win and his remarkable team is the head coach of the Tolar Rattlers, the head rattler, if you will. It's Mike Franklin. Coach Franklin, how are you?
I'm doing good.
I imagine you are. Congratulations. A phenomenal win over Mart. When you told your when you were talking to your team before the game, going up against a program as that has as much pedigree as Mart does, what did you tell your squad before going out there against Mart?
Well, we had watched all week on film and watched stuff and prepared, and we told our kids we can play with it. I mean, we can win this game. And I told them and told my wife before I left the house Friday morning, because she always gives me a how's it going to go. And I said the team that makes the least mistakes is going to win. We felt like we were very evenly matched with them. And, we've lost a few games this year and some that we shouldn't, but we feel like we can match up with anybody.
And you guys, I want to take you back to the final play, the critical moment of this game, where Mart is on the doorstep. They are, with just 3 seconds remaining, they're on the doorstep, ready to plunge in for what would be a game-tying and then what would be a game-winning extra point. And your defense stands tall. I hate to ask you to be honest, but be honest. What were you thinking before that play?
Well, it was. There wasn't enough time to think about anything. First thing I was thinking is how come the play clock's not running? Because that was my first thing, because they had spiked it. There was 3 seconds after they threw to get the ball down there, and there was 3 seconds. They spiked it, no time went off the clock, and then the play clock didn't run, and they ran half their team over and had a impromptu timeout with the coach on the sideline, and I was still waiting for the play clock to run, and then it started running after they got back and lined up. So, and we made a sub, and because we had a extra defensive back in to play before, and we put a defensive lineman in, put a young man in that as one of our offensive linemen and hadn't played it down a defense all night, put him in at nose guard, and he's one of the ones that made the play. And we were making that sub and trying to get our defensive calls in, and our kids lined up and did what they've been coached to do, and we filled the gaps.
It's organized chaos. I know.
It definitely was that. And then as the play was going on, I didn't think they was ever going to end. We kept waiting. We had them held up, and it looked like a rugby scrum. And I was waiting for a whistle to blow. And our old kids, they stayed after it.
But your squad did hold Tyreek Horn out of the end zone and grab a 41-35 win, and a big reason behind it is the extraordinary play of your quarterback Colby Trinkle. For those of us who don't know a whole lot about your signal caller, what can you tell us about this remarkable young man?
Oh, he's new. He moved to Tolar this summer, and he was new to our system, and that's what. And he's learned, and every week he's gotten better and better, and he's learned our system, and he's growing up, and we've got some kids that can catch the football, and he does a good job putting it in a place where they can catch it, and and I felt like as a staff we had a good scheme against them. We had saw some things were areas we thought we could exploit them, and we did.
We're talking with Mike Franklin, the head coach of the Tolar Rattlers, here on DCTF Live. Get involved in the conversation, #DCTF Live. And, Coach, you've been at Tolar for a long time now, 15 years. I don't mean to date you, but
that's all right.
Can you tell us? And you've had some great teams at Tolar, and you've had some squads that have struggled. For you, what sets this squad apart from some other teams that you've coached?
Oh, it's hard to. I don't know if they really set apart, because it's been this way. I mean, it started about 4 years ago with the group of kids that just decided we weren't going to lose anymore. And, our record over the last 4 years, we can put up there with anybody, but, I mean, we play as a family. And these kids, they every year a new group comes through, and we get along. We had an incredible group of seniors last year, and everybody said, well, after they leave, it's going to be a drop-off. And this year's group stepped up, and the juniors that came up from JV, and And they just said, no, it's not, and like I said, we play as a family, and there's times, as we tell them, there's times in families you have squabbles, but you're still family. And, and these guys, they take that to the field every Friday night.
You guys came through a really grueling district. Teams like Goldthwaite, teams like Heiko, a couple of other squads that really give you a run, this District 7 2A. I know obviously no coach likes going through it when you're playing it, but after the fact, now that you're in the playoffs,
I'd rather go through that than go through a district where you don't have to play anybody, because I've been on that end of it, and you're not ready for the playoffs because everything came too easy.
Mm-hmm. So what?
And our district was tough, and like I said, it's been a grueling year for us. And we started the year with 26 kids on the varsity squad, and going into the last week of the season, I put it pencil to paper, and we've had over 30 kids miss one or more, or 30 kids miss a game for one reason or another. So, we had kids miss multiple games. Had my leading receiver from last year tore his ACL in track, high jumping. And he came back, played one game this year for us, and had 6 catches for 100 yards and looked like he was going to be good. And then the next week at Heiko, his first catch, he went up and got his knee rolled up and retore the ACL. He had surgery last week, so he's gone for us. Had our what was our best offensive lineman last year, got in a car wreck, a young man named Aaron McClellan, and got in a car wreck, and he's now in a wheelchair. He let us out on the field Friday night, and the doctors are not sure whether he'll ever walk again. He says he's going to, so I believe him. But and that was our best offensive lineman, and that was after week 2. And I mean, it's just been, we've had two kids get appendicitis and have to go get their appendix taken out. Both of them starters on a week, we projected them to start. One of them was on a Tuesday, and the other one was on a Thursday night.
My good Lord.
We've overcome. Had another kid get in a car wreck and got hit, spun his car, and he wound up halfway out the back glass with a concussion and had to get staples in the back of his head. And he missed a Heiko game, and he was our starting outside linebacker and backup running back. And I mean, it's just been on and on and on. Every week we have something, and we're starting to get a little healthier now. But it's been a crazy.
That's pretty relative, Coach.
My gosh,
it's been a crazy year. I mean, I went through and said all the crazy things that have happened. I mean, going back to 2-a-days, we had 3 of our young men in a car wreck get hit by a semi, and God was looking out for them because one of them came out with a concussion and the other ones came out okay. And, I mean, it's just started since then. It's been every week there's been, okay, who's going to be out this week for what? Football and non-football related injuries. And like I said, the depth of our depth and our kids willing to step up and, next man up, what position you need me to play, Coach. And that's gotten us through it.
The greatest understatement of the year is that you guys have been through a little bit of adversity. Goodness gracious. We're talking with Tolar head coach Mike Franklin here on DCTF Live. Get involved with the show, #DCTF Live. And, Coach, one last question. I don't want you to give away your game plan, but you guys draw a feisty Valley View squad in the area around. And I know that you've been working hard trying to come up with a game plan for them. What have you seen? What are you in store for on Friday night against Valley View?
Oh, it's no secret. We got to stop their quarterback. Mm-hmm. Kid's a good athlete, and he does. I mean, their offense revolves around him. And we've got to stop him, and not just one way, because he's a running threat and a throwing threat. So that's our job, defensively, is to stop him, and offensively we've got to continue to do. We are a balanced football team. On the year, I think I was looking at our stats the other day. I think there's like 300 yards difference between our rushing and our passing totals on the year. And we're a 50-50 team, and we've got to continue to have that balance, because as long as we can have that balance, it makes it harder for people to, if they stop one part of the game, then we can go to the other part. So we've got to continue to maintain that balance.
He is Mike Franklin. He is the head coach of the Tolar Rattlers, still rolling in the 2A Division I state playoffs. Coach, congratulations on the big win. Best of luck this next week, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you much. Enjoyed talking to you.